What's going on, beautiful people of the internet? It's your boy, Daniel Rodriguez here, aka Big D. It's time to review Ash vs. Evil Dead, Season 1, Episode 3, titled Books from Beyond. It's a spoiler review. If you have not seen the episode, make sure you are a Stars member, or have Stars, or have a friend who has Stars, or illegally download it on the internet. I did not advise you to do that. If you do it yourself, that is your fault. That is your problem. But seriously, man, Ash vs. Evil Dead, third episode, man, running into 3 weeks already. We are an hour and a half into the storyline, and man, spoiler review. Should take me less than 2 minutes to recap the episode, give you pros, cons, final score, all that nonsense there. And real quick before I get into the review, this Friday is on Netflix. Marvel's Jessica Jones is live. It comes out, man. By Friday evening, I will have the first few episodes reviewed on the channel. But for sure, by Friday night or Saturday morning, all 13 episodes will be reviewed on the channel, man. So make sure to stay tuned or subscribe for that, man. And let's get right to it. What, you call me Ashley? Ashley! All the time, man. Ashley J. Williams, baby. Is that his name? Ash Williams? Bruce Campbell? Well, this week he was playing Ronald Reagan in Fargo, and now he's back as Ash, yeah. So here we go. Let's get right to it. Ruby kills a deadite in the beginning, man. Ruby kills Kelly's dad in the beginning. Ruby is Lucy Lawless, the beautiful, most tremendous, most bustiest Lucy Lawless. Always beautiful. Always coming in, man. And she's like, does Ash have the book? All sexy and everything. And boom, impels the dad on the cross and everything. She ends up like slicing this deadite with a special knife and everything. So anyway, Ash is at the bookstore and everything. Lionel sees the book. Lionel's the owner of the bookstore. And Amanda is there. She tries to arrest Ash. She ends up being knocked out by Pablo. They summon an Elogos, or Elogos, which is a certain type of dark force, ancient demon. And, well, they broke the circle. You're not supposed to break the circle. You know, Ash is, like, looking at the Elogos, and the Elogos is like, why did you summon me, Ashley? And Ash is like, huh. I need to know stuff. He summoned you, by the way. And then he ends up breaking the, like, oh shit. And like it ends up like grabbing Ash and everything. And it could, they're trying to shoot it, but ends up teleporting everywhere. And he kills Lionel, the Elogos. He throws like a bunch of glass at Lionel. He's basically dead. Amanda is free. Kelly sends it back to hell. She ends up grabbing the book of the dead and smashing it on, bitch slapping the Elogos, and it ends up being sucked into the book. Amanda is locked up. Ash and the group leave. Lionel is a deadite, and well, Lionel's a deadite. He's like, rah! And Amanda is locked there in the bookstore. But you know Ruby's gonna come in. She's gonna end up kicking ass, and she's gonna end up teaming with Amanda. So what did I think about this episode overall, guys? Ash vs. Evil Dead. First off, man, first pros I do gotta say is the opening with Ruby. You couldn't ask for a better opening, man. Last place where we ended, where they were doing the crosses, is where we start. And a nice red car too, by the way. I think Ruby's in style. I love how, you know, her get-up and her suit, and definitely the way that she's kicking ass and she wants to know where Ash is. She has something to do, man. She has something to do with Ash. You know, maybe an old friend, maybe somebody we haven't met. Well, obviously someone we haven't met in the universe yet. The action in here wasn't as good as last week's action, but for sure it was entertaining. You know, the fighting wasn't as entertaining as last week, but it still definitely had a place in this episode where you were kind of like, okay, it was good. You know, the action in here was alright. You know, it wasn't great action. Definitely because it teleported and everything. You were kind of like, it wasn't as fun as last week where you're on the edge of your seat. But for sure, the effects in here definitely make up for that, man. The effects in here are good. The effects are good, you know. Definitely the glass effects were kind of, that's where like some of the glass effects kind of get off, like, but definitely the Elogos and everything, like, you summon me. All that was fine, man. Again, the effects, and then you got some of the practical effects and everything. So all that is fine. Practical with the deadite, and then CGI with the Elogos is always a good thing. Funny episode, man. It wasn't as funny as last week. I did laugh 2 or 3 times this episode, maybe at most, but 8 or 9 times last time. So again, it was a funny episode. It did have funny moments in there. Not as much, but again, I love that Pablo and Ash type of connection, you know, where Pablo, he saved Ash again until Kelly ended up saving them. But, you know, Pablo was scared, and then he was like, El Jefe, I gotta do this for El Jefe. After this, we're gonna get some churros, Pablo. You know I'm not Mexican, right? That's the spirit. Always a good Ash. The Book of the Dead and the artwork. I love how they did that artwork and everything, and they kind of explained what the Book of the Dead is, how it's a port or a gateway to hell and everything. So definitely that was an interesting take. And you learned something, man. You were like in history class and everything there. The bookstore. And there are a bunch of references and everything in the bookstore, like stuff in jars and everything. The deer was on the wall, kind of like referencing Evil Dead 2. And I was thinking, I saw like an alien in a jar, and I was like, is that an X-Files reference? That looks like an X-Files alien, you know? But, the only cons I could say much is not much Ruby. Kind of sad that they still tease. This is the third episode and they're still teasing Ruby. Why don't you just show her? You're going to show her next week. You might as well show her this episode a little bit more instead of just teasing in the beginning. You could have showed her at the end as well. And the fight wasn't as entertaining. Like I said, it wasn't as entertaining as last week. It wasn't as fun as last week. But again, it was good. It just wasn't as like, as last week. The ending again was good. Again, Amanda, I'm not really feeling Amanda's character right now. I feel like her acting, like again, it's B-movie acting, type of stuff. I'm not expecting Emmy Award-winning acting or anything. But she's just like, let me go. I'm a cop. Ugh. Like, I'm like, is this a porn? Like literally, that's how it feels. It's kind of like, it's like, let me go. I kind of feel like, no. I've already done bad things, blah, blah, blah. Like, Kelly, I think, is the weakest character. Not because, don't be like, because she's a girl. No, she's not. I mean, she's cool, but she's literally the most, probably, Pablo is the most entertaining, Ash is the most entertaining, and then you got Kelly. You know what I mean? Like, if it was just Ash and Pablo, Kelly kind of doesn't fit in there when you think about it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying I hate Kelly, but just think Pablo and Ash instead of Kelly. Pablo and Ash. I'm not saying I hate Kelly. I think she's fun. But so far this episode, it didn't really prove, like, okay, she saved them. That's it. Yeah. Okay. So, again, it was good. I think I'm going to end up giving this episode a B+, secondarily a solid B. Last week I enjoyed a little bit more, but for sure, again, the directing and everything in here was fine. It was funny. The action was suffice. It did for what it did. So, excuse me. It was good for the most part. It was a really good episode, man. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully, all of you guys enjoyed. If you enjoyed this, subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what you think about Ash versus Evil Dead. And I'll see you next week for Season 1, Episode 4. Until next time, hit the like button. Tell me what you guys think, your pros and cons. May the Spock be with you always.